Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Friday. It's October 24th, 2025. I originally started this message just a few moments ago at 12:22, and then I looked up and I realized, hold up, am I not recording? So I just had to push record again. I didn't get very far, thankfully, but 12:22 is significant for the start of this message and also the confirmation of the good news that I have to share today. So I did a pre-shuffle, so I have a bit of a preview message. At first it seemed a bit split in nature, but now I think I understand why it might be connected indeed. But before I did that, I actually pulled shuffled to what I feel could be a good word for the day from my oracle deck. I previewed this a few videos back if you want to check it out. The title is indicated in the thumbnail, which it's like 2 messages back, I think. But not too much on that today, just to share that the word of the day is passionate. And that was what I pulled before my pre-shuffle. And as you can see, where I landed on the bottom of the deck is the 8 of Wands, which is like an explosion or like a super surge of passion incoming. That's ultimately the message that I received. And more on that, even more on that, but it was just so amazing that throughout the pre-shuffle, not only was this 8 of Wands coming up multiple times, but it actually is in alignment with the word of the day. So beautiful. So, what is passionate and passive? Oh no, I think that is I think that's the King of Wands. I don't have my book here because I'm still trying to remember and refresh where I made these cards so long ago that some things, like, I still have to remind myself what card represents what card. But I think it represents, I want to say the King of Wands. Yeah, which also came up multiple times throughout the message, the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So it was just a lot of wand energy, which regardless is on trend for the word of the day. So putting that to the side just a tad, let me talk to you about this message that I got. So there's like hyper passion in the atmosphere, or soon to come, right? And at first I was channeling all of this energy about the wrong type of passion, like passion for the wrong things. And it was coming up as like a get back passion, like vengeful type of passion or sinister passion, particularly between groups that once upon a time either had some common interest or common enemy. That aligned their forces, but for whatever reason, that interest or that enemy has been taken out of the equation, and so now all that's left is for them to more or less fight themselves. Now they're in combat between one another, so much so that the main objective, it seemed through the cards, was just for people to see who can take down who the fastest, the hardest, the most clever. Like, it just what the phrase that I heard was witch wars or wizard wars, maybe both, one and the same. But like, it was a lot of energy of attacks being launched back and forth between opposing forces that once were united. Again, like, the only thing that really united them was their common interest or a common enemy. So now that they don't have that in common anymore, now they're just at odds with one another. And it seems to be like the general satisfaction is to inflict as much misery and misfortune on one another as possible in some effort to kind of like you know how it is. Like if I'm going down, everybody's going down with me. Or if I'm while I'm going down, I'm taking as many people as I can on the way, you know, that type of energy. So yeah, so there was that. And there's probably more I could say on that, but we'll put that to the side, because then I started seeing a much more high vibrational message about some incoming fortune. I'll say that roundabout because it definitely was depicted in a very tangible way by way of a lot of pentacles connected to wand energy. But it could be many things, I suppose, but I definitely saw fortune. And then what I was seeing is that whatever it is that's coming, I don't know on what scale, but I'll tell you what I likened it to, what it was, you know, channeled to me as. It's something that it feels too good to be true because of the nature of what it is, who is receiving it, or whom is receiving it. Is that the right phrase? Where it's coming from, perhaps, maybe all of the above, how grand it is, or the magnitude of, let's call it a gift, you know, some gift or fortune or favor that's coming through. Phone just lit up at 12:30, 123. Okay, so it's coming fast, because this is where we landed yet again. Like it's going to either be like out of nowhere or at such a magnitude that it almost seems overwhelming. But the interesting thing that I saw about it was that at first it's coming in a package or by way of some medium or I guess medium would be the right word, that would first evoke some skepticism, because I saw energies kind of being on guard, like what? Like, for me? You know what I mean? Like almost afraid to receive it, afraid to take it. Like, you sure that's for me? You sure I'm entitled to that? You sure that's mine? You sure that's assigned to me? You sure my name is on it? You sure that was left to me? Like, however it's coming, it evokes skepticism to the point where people will almost feel like nah, like if somebody try to offer you $100 on the street, your first impulse will probably be to question it, like, why are you trying to give me money, you know, or like, what for, where'd it come from, or what's the catch? That's what it was, like the strings attached was also the question. And the interesting part of another interesting part of it is, upon investigation and skepticism, finding out that there are no strings attached. I'm getting chills. There are no strings attached is also the element of surprise, because again, it's just everything coming through that seems like it's too good to be true. Like, it's one thing to get this great gift. It's one thing to be in alignment, or for it to be assigned to you for whatever reason. It's a whole nother thing for there to be no catch, no expectation of return, no, you know, like nothing is expected of you but to receive it. That is unheard of. Not just in the norms of society, but right here, right now, as it stands, where it feels like you having to kind of be on guard for corruptions, or from being tricked or scammed, or even to guard what you already have, so that it, you know, you can hold on to it. And then here comes something that's so magnificent, of an upgrade, a gift, an offering, an investment, some type of windfall, that it seems like a fantasy. You know, like it's very much so too good to be true energy. Now, the reason why it's important for me to dissipate that too good to be true ahead of time for anybody that catches it, is because that's kind of like what I saw is like, that's the illusion of the adversary, whatever that adversary may be, whether it be those that don't want you to have it, those that wish you would reject it and not receive it, those that don't want to give it, You know what I mean? Like whatever that adverse or opposing energy is that is not necessarily in favor of your reception of this thing would want the haze of illusion to surround it so that you reject it yourself, because it can't be kept away from you at this point. Whatever it is, I was seeing that it's coming through so fiercely, and it's not like a blanket disbursement overall. Like it has an assignment, and your name is attached to whatever. Like your name is assigned to this thing, and this thing is assigned to you. Whatever it is, again, it could be different for many people, but it is something. The other thing I forgot to say is that once you get over the whole skepticism and questioning, hopefully maybe not even going, discernment, yes, always, but once you get past all of that, it's going to bring about like almost a burst of joy and like a burst of celebration. Like, oh my God, like I can't believe it, it's me. Why? Like you just won out like a jackpot or something. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know, like it feels like a 1 in a million or like a chance type of encounter that some folks are in alignment for. Like I said, these wands have coordinates. They have an assignment, they have a destination. It's not just, you're not just catching the stray of this type of fortune, standing around it. You know, your name has to be attached to it, or there has to be some connection to you to receive it. I don't know what that is exactly. Maybe it'll come out if I pull a couple cards. But so the fact that you are like one of the lucky ones, you know, the fortunate ones, is going to bring a burst of joy, of elation, of excitement, of like, oh my God, I can't believe it's me type of thing. So again, the trick of the illusionary force would be for you to push it away and reject it for fear that it comes with some type of attachment. It's too good to be true. No, it can't be me. You must be mistaken, or it's too much for me to accept, or I wouldn't know what to do with that, or, you know, like even a rejection in the spirit, you know, where you receive a thing, but internally, like almost like an imposter syndrome, where you might take the thing, but you low-key feel like this can't be right. You know what I mean? Like any minute now you could be waiting for somebody to come snatch it back. And sometimes that provokes the impulse to kind of squander it or give it away, or kind of like get it out of your possession for fear. Like say you get a big windfall and you just start spending it because you're like, well, I'm gonna spend this money before somebody come take it. But if there's anything that I definitely saw by way of the 7 of Pentacles, it's for the purposes of investing and planning for your future. So yes, there's an opportunity to enjoy whatever this is, because I feel like that's the connection to the passion part, and the elation that it'll invoke for you to have a little bit more liberty, maybe some leisure, perhaps more than usual, maybe take a vacation, maybe buy something you always wanted, I don't know. But there's also the wise aspect of it for you to invest and to maybe save some nest egg for a rainy day or for the future, and to put your money in the position to work for you, so that it's a constant turnover, so to speak, like a constant influx of income or whatever this is. Like if it's not money, whatever it is something that can be invested to magnify for the future, for the long run, not just something, you know, a short-sighted future, but something very long term, maybe even generational. What else did I see? Because like I said, I'm happy to bring some good news today. So again, it's like, don't be fooled by the illusion of, well, this can't be mine, this can't be me, it's too good to be true, because that's exactly what the adversary would want you, even the adversary within you know, that would want you to do, to reject your gift or your blessing, because it seems too big. You know, it seems too much for you. You are worthy. There's a reason why it's coming to you. There's a reason why it's assigned to you. And again, if you can't get beyond the magnitude of the fortune, just accept the fact that it's for more than you, because it's for a future creativity, you know, and for a future savings, or whatever the case, productivity and prosperity. So if you can't get past how much it is for you, just know that it's more than enough for others, and keep those in mind that will benefit from whatever you do with it, or however you govern it responsibly. What else? I feel like there was more. The passion was definitely, like a combustion of passion was definitely the thing. It's going to be overwhelming, like how happy this disbursement makes you. You know, it might bring some to tears. You know, it might create like an emotional outburst in a good way, but it may be so much so that even that feels like, you know, overwhelming or too much to manage. But that's a good problem to have, to be so happy with good fortune that it feels foreign to you. You know, that's how it's supposed to feel. And then eventually it's supposed to feel like second nature as you get over that initial response. And then it's really to promote this new, that's what it was. What was that phrase? It was like a sweeping era. An era of great fortune is sweeping the land. But again, it's not like everybody gets, you know, like Oprah, you get good fortune, you get good fortune, you get it's assigned. There's assignment to it. There is an assignment to it, and it doesn't mean that it's not it doesn't mean that it can't be it doesn't mean that once it's dispersed, that's it, that's all, there's no more to be gained, or no more to be obtained. There's an infinite good fortune, you know, in store. But the wave of it as it's coming through now is designated for a special purpose, and for people that have I just heard first responders. Wow. Like first responders. I guess responders to the call. Definitely saw the judgment card to their purpose, to their, you know, their divine design. Like however there was a response, judged by the divine, you know, not judged by one another, surely, but judged by by divine standards. However that response was played out or demonstrated on a case-by-case basis is the matter of this assigned fortune that's being dispersed. That's just it. That's just all. And also, of course, again, what comes after that. So you would have already needed to kind of put yourself in alignment to be in a position of purpose. Whether you even know exactly what that is or not. I mean, I would imagine most people do at least have some idea of what their passion is, you know. But to just have put yourself in a position to be a vessel for passion to be transmitted through you, you know, because maybe you don't know exactly what you would do if you got $1 million today, but you've been aligning yourself with the frequency of good fortune and good favor for the purposes of good works for a very long time. Like you have a charitable heart or a benevolent spirit, and you know that there are things that you would want to see created in this world, that would not only benefit the voids that you may have experienced in your life, but for others as well. You know, like I feel like that's definitely like a baseline of who might be in alignment for such a disbursement. Oh, one more thing, because this was important. This makes it very practical. The way that I saw this like push away of this blessing was this. If you recall, like and I'm getting chills again, I saw it being like people reverting back to the PPP loan era, which is still underway in some cases, but like that being called to recollection as a reason for rejecting whatever this gift is. So in that case, I was like, was it coming from the government, or is it coming from, you know what I mean, like some type of higher power where you would feel skeptical accepting it? I don't know, but I saw that people, because of what happened with that whole debacle with the PPP loans and how people are still getting caught up for that today, that would be the illusion brought to recollection for people to say, well, they ain't getting me. I ain't taking that. And they be prosecuting me, you know, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you would be skeptical to receive something that seems like it's like free money in a sense, which, let me tell you, it ain't free. You worked for this in your own way. It's not the work that you probably are accustomed or conditioned to consider. You know, this is divine work that's been done, whether it be on yourself or on something of value to the divine. That's why there is this exchange of energy and fortune. So although it may seem like free money or free gifts or whatever, it's really not. It's just so grand that it feels like there's no way I could have done anything to deserve this much. So the PPP loan thing it kind of has served as like, that was kind of like the bizarro disbursement in a sense, where I'll get into that another day, but like that came first, tripped a lot of people up, and still has some people in a chokehold or in a stronghold to either pay it back or do time or just some persecution or prosecution for it. But it also could be used as a great deterrent for others now to reflect on, to say, no, not me, you know, and then ultimately, as I said again, forfeit your gift or your blessing because you're comparing it to something that wasn't divine. That wasn't a divine disbursement. That was of some other nature, you know. So yeah, so keep that in mind. But anyway, something major is is on the way. Something major. I'm gonna keep this passionate card in the frame if I can. Yes, it'll fit right up here. Perfect. That's the word of the day, passionate. And this is an adjective, so this is describing you at best, or the spirit around you, the spirit that's being invoked within you. But that's the word. And let's see, just so you know how the cards work, there's an adverse on the other side, passive. And look, steadfast. And this is the reason why it's coming, because of your steadfastness. Whatever that was, it could have been just on keeping your head above water and maintaining the faith for a brighter day, managing the resources that you had responsibly, taking care of your family, doing the best that you can, advancing your spiritual knowledge, or enhancing your spiritual practice, or what it doesn't have to be religious or spiritual, but I'm just saying it could have been a number of things. Whatever it was pleasing to the divine in such a way that it's payday. You know, it's payday. I don't know the when now. I don't know when, but given them a number of times that 8 of Wands came up, it's coming sooner than you think, or it's coming out of nowhere. Like, when it hits, it's going to be a bit of a surprise, you know, like, but the best surprise. All right, so I'm gonna just take a few cards because I really feel like I want to leave it there, to be honest with you. It feels like one of those messages where I don't even want to touch it. I just want to channel it and, you know, just let it be. But I'll just get a couple. And the connection between the other energy, of course, as I said, the misery loves company. Is like there is like a resentment for this transfer of fortune and wealth amongst those that, like I said, it's like the difference between like the PPP loaners and whomever is in alignment for whatever this like divine disbursement is. Like those that might be caught up in their activities or their actions on account of getting rich quick or hitting a quick lick feel some type of way about those that may be coming into fortune with no strings attached or with no persecution or prosecution attached. But whereas, you know, it would be an impulse to want to victimize those energies, and has been an impulse to do so. Now, as I said, like that what's the word I just heard? Possibility, I suppose, has been eliminated, which is why now folks are only left to really play the blame game and, you know, exchange attacks with those that they feel, you know, are like new targets in a sense. You know, it's like they can't really cross over and hit those that unjustifiably. So it's like, well, I'm gonna get you then. You know what I mean? It's not going to alleviate any any more rage than, or bring any more satisfaction to do this, but this is the hard wiring of those that have been living a hard life. Now, there could be inspiration to live a soft life and to shift and change and transform and reorder steps to be in alignment for this disbursement. Because like I said, it's infinite. It's infinite abundance that is available. But will that happen? Remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. It'll have to be some major transformative effects that happen in order to inspire that type of change. Yeah, with the Page of Cups here, it's like, to me, it feels like that's up in the air. You know what I mean? Like the Page of Cups could be absorbing the inspiration of pure passion and infusing that into their lives in a productive sense, or it could be very tainted, you know, and it could just really serve to further almost like poison the spirit in a sense, with more resentment, more jealousy, more envy, more just like distorted emotional energy, feeling like emotional disturbance is what I hear, you know. So it could go either way. What was that? Yeah, with the Knight of Swords here, that's that rampage or rage energy. Or again, it could be, you know, the inspiration to like get moving towards something productive, like to take charge in your life in a way that is progressive, you know, to learn something new, to discover something new. Like, I want to see what's going on over there, or how do I be down with that, you know. And now that's your focus, like you're all in, your determination is all your energy is being put towards achieving that reality, you know, which isn't bad. It'll be tempered in the right way if it is fueled for the right purpose, you know. or provoked, I say. No, because you could be provoked in one way and then it end up, like I said, being tempered purely down the road. But as long as it's not this ambition to like go and steal something from somebody, or that they got something I want, I'm gonna take it. It's like, no, if your intention is like, well, I need to get that for myself, the universe can get behind that, and it can purify and cleanse the toxins in that cup with that fish, and make it clean water to drink, you know, something that is vitalizing and nourishing to the spirit, to put you like at a baseline point of view, or a point of like a point of pursuit that will trek to be something positive and productive, even if it feels like you're kind of starting over, like a page is almost like a childlike energy. But you're teachable, you're absorbent of all the right things, you're ambitious to learn, you know, you're passionate about prosperity, and not just profit, but prosperity. You know, those are the things that the spirit can definitely advance, perhaps even in an accelerated way, you know. All right, let's get a few more. That we'll see the Chariot accelerated. Exactly, accelerated. Thank you for that confirmation. That could also be, now that could be the way that it's sweeping across the land, because of the effect that it may have on those that do see the inspiration from what they witness, and make a split decision, you know, a sudden decision to say, I'm going this way. I ain't fooling with that over there no more. I'm going toward the light, or whatever. That could be the sweeping fortune of it all, to actually experience the acceleration of that advancement in ways, again, that doesn't even seem natural. Like, how do I deserve, like, I don't even feel like I even deserve to be this taken care of, you know, knowing, you know, the decisions they've made in the past, or the way that they have operated before. And then those that have really make a serious turnaround, and it's organic and pure, and the divine, like the divine is going to clock the T. You know, you can put on all the airs you want, but the divine knows your heart, and it knows like your pure intentions. And for those that really are inspired to transform, you know, and evolve, it could be quite astounding how quickly the divine assists in that process. Again, where you think you got to buckle in, strap in for the long haul, and for the dark night, and for this and for that, it might not be that. You know, that could be the surprise of the sweep that everybody gets to benefit from, in a sense. But the decision is the hardest part. Not everybody's going to be brave enough to make the tough decisions to do something different than what they're used to doing, or to see things differently, even see themselves differently than what they're used to. Oh, look at that. Yes, come through. From the Page of Cups to the Ten of Cups. Do you hear me? This is what's happening. That's a hell of an acceleration. In the blink of an eye, you decide, I want something more from my life. This is what it is, you know, or this is how I would like to feel about myself, about life, about what I do, about who I'm surrounded by, what I contribute to, what I invest in. And before you know it, it's a happily ever after situation. I can't, you know, don't take that to the bank, because there's no way that I could know. Because again, it's case by case basis, And it's by the matter of your heart, like your heart being weighed by the divine standard, not mine. But I just truly believe that this is coming up for a reason. That it's there. It's there for the taking if people are able to believe it and conceive it. Yeah, here it is again, this Knight of Swords energy. That fierce determination for happiness, in a word. Pure happiness. That's beautiful. This turned out amazing. What was that? 8 of Cups, by maybe having to leave some things behind. And it seems like the 8 of Cups is a big sacrifice, but in the grand scheme of the 10, it's not really. It's not really a lot to leave behind when you have the promise of, or at least the potential of, gaining a whole sense of self, a whole sense of happiness, security, peace. Not just a little bit of it, or just settling for, what'll do. It's like you can have it all in this lifetime. Ooh, that was the High Priestess. Oh! Oh my God. If that's not having it all. And that literally is the receptive energy of having it all. Like the Empress expects to have the best, to receive the best, to be respected, to be taken care of. She also accepts her responsibility to take care, which is the exchange, the even exchange, right? But there is like a righteous expectation to more or less live a soft life or be pampered in some regard, at least to be secure at best, because maybe it's too fantastical, again, too good to be true to consider living a so-called soft life. But this could be the idea of just literally all things being well managed, taken care of. There's not much of a worry in the world as far as your stability, your security, your creativity, or the things that you have created, your finances, your businesses, your home, your family, your legacy. Like everything in the Empress card comes with the expectation that it's all good. It's all good. Like it's just what's understood doesn't even need to be spoken. It's the Empress, the most powerful feminine energy in the deck. And I love that it's the feminine for masculine or feminine energy watching, because it again signifies being in the posture of reception, where things are coming to you, you're attracting things to you, things are being served to you, perhaps even on a silver platter, which seems too good to be true, right? That you're being served, you're being catered to, you're being, dare I say, worshipped in a very pure sense, not in, what the High Priestess did come up, but yeah, like it's this reverence, there it is, that's a milder term, like you're being reverenced, like, I'm with it. That's where we're going to end. Yeah, not too bad. Knight of Wands here, there's that passion. And here's the King of Pentacles. There's that passion and that intensity and passion that, again, it's, I feel like with the Knights, it's given Knight in a sense, because Knights in this case, because it's speaking to like the ambition and the drive behind the energy. I wonder if passionate is the Knight of Wands, actually. Passionate and passive. I feel like it's the King of Wands, though. It's either the Knight or the King, but I feel like, and I hope that I'm right, or is it the Queen of Wands? Damn, my book is all the way in the other room, so I don't want to break this up to go see. But anyway, I'll confirm that some way, somehow, whether it be in the comments or next video, or I don't know. I'll figure out some way to confirm that passionate card. But the Knight of Wands, you know, of course, the lower frequency of that is to be compulsive, in a sense. No, it's not the Knight, because I feel like that's the word I used for the Knight. It was compulsive. But the upright and the higher frequency of it is to just be ambitious, you know, and to not allow anything deter you from your focus, your goal, your destination, your what is the word, like the territory that you're looking to conquer, your conquest. There it is, your conquest. And then, of course, the King of Pentacles, which I love as well here, is because it's that prosperity energy. Like, that's the richest king in the deck. You know, we got the Queen, the Empress, most powerful feminine, which also implies some sense of wealth and prosperity. And then we got the masculine energy in the form of the King of Pentacles, who's definitely a master of their material world, you know, in every way, shape, and form, knowing how to make money, knowing how to multiply, invest, share, you know, to share, take care, nurture, like all of those things are wrapped up in that King of Pentacles card. Again, it's putting people in a financially sovereign state is what I'm seeing, or let's say materially, but I mean, let's just call it what it is. Why don't we? Because there are a lot of things that make us happy to receive: opportunities, investments, encouragement, support, patronage, all of that good stuff. Hell, subscribers, likes, you know, views, with all of that stuff is all great. But in this dimension, ain't nothing like having spending power to fuel your passions, to not even have to think about creating something. That's also the energy of the Empress. Like, you don't even have to think about whether you can create it. It's just a matter of how so, or when, you know, or how to. Is never ever another question about if you have enough. And for those that have put themselves again in a position to be creators, you know, conscious creators, it's like the divine needs your hands. It needs your elbow grease, your intellect, your vision, your passion, ultimately, is what the divine is working through. And why these resources and gifts and windfalls are hitting like they are, so that these ideas and visions can start to just pop up, manifest in a magnitude that sweeps the land with new creativity, you know, like gives creation a breath of fresh air for things that are taking the place of those things that are ultimately dilapidating, disintegrating, being dismantled. You know, there's a new landscape under construction. I saw the World card too. That was actually one of the affirming cards, because I had to ask. I was like, all right, so is this something to be afraid of, or this is something to be wary of? Is this of the divine? Is this, you know, I had to ask before I came on here, you know, encouraging the masses to, you know, look for something great coming. You know, I had to be sure, and sure enough, it was the Ace of Pentacles, it was the World card, it was a lot of positive confirmation that I had to see myself. So I know that when it's coming to you in the physical form, in the material form, it'll definitely be, it'll invoke a cause for pause. But please, please receive what is due to you, because it's not just for you at this point. There's so much more and so many more folks at stake, or in alignment to receive and be advanced and to prosper on account of what's being dispersed to you. So congratulations. And I love how this energy just completely overpowered the shadow side of what may be going on in the adverse energy, or on, you know, on the other side. Like, it's really of no consequence at this point. It only matters to just stay focused and stay intentional about being in a posture to receive and discern the things that are coming to you are divine, you know, or high vibrational, productive, at least, you know, in the most pure sense. So yeah. Congratulations. Happy Friday indeed. So grateful to have this transmission of good news to share. I hope that you receive it justifiably, and allow it to activate that passion in you to really, you know, if you're not already getting your affairs in order for what's to be created, to do so, or to just keep going. Like, just keep your eye on the prize, keep organizing your ideas, keep making little small strides towards your creations, and before you know it, what it is that you need to bring it all into fruition will be chasing you down. Pretty much, it'll be knocking down your door or flooding through your auric field in whatever way the divine is delivering it. All right, so again, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.